Hello, and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we're going to be talking about something that nobody expected. At least I did not expect this, and I don't think anybody else did either, and that is that on January 15th, the Barrett Jackson Car Pack for Forza Motorsport 7 will be released. Now, the Barrett Jackson Car Pack is very, very interesting because it features some really odd, off-the-wall, weird cars that really don't seem like they would be that good of race cars, but that they would be really, really cool and really fun as just fun cars to do whatever you want with. Now, there is one car, though, that is in this pack that I want in Horizon 4 really, really badly. I want it in Horizon 4 so bad, and that is the lifted Ford Bronco. That thing is beautiful, and the fact that it's in here, holy crap. Like, I wish that was coming to Horizon 4, and I really, 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 really hope it does. I genuinely hope that it does. Other really, really interesting vehicles that are coming in are the 1959 Plymouth Atomic Punk Bubble Top, the 1932 Ford Custom Doubledown, and the 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle Supersport Barrett Jackson Edition. Now, there are some other cars in here as well, like, for example, this Plymouth Barracuda and the Shelby Monaco King Cobra. Now, of course, we hope to see many, many new things revealed in the next Forza Monthly live stream, which I will be watching, and I will be making sure to get you guys all of the info, and I'll be sure to pick out all the bits and pieces that are important from that live stream and relay them to you guys so you guys know exactly what's going to be going on with the future of not only Forza Motorsport 7 but Horizon 4 as well as we go forth into the spring. Now, I mean real life spring, not spring in Horizon 4. But I will say that going forward into a little bit more detail about the cars in this pack, right? I'm actually really excited to drive the Ford Custom Doubledown. That thing looks really fun and really cool it's got that hot rod style, and it's got that kind of, classic look and that classic feel, but if you look inside of it, it's got, like, really, really cool details on, like, the seats, and there's really nice custom touches on, like, the headers, and then in the front end, it looks really, really mean, and it's got a really good, like, flowing body line, and it just looks great. It's a really great looking setup. Now, I want to drift it personally because I highly doubt that it's going to be a proper race car. I can try to build it as a proper race car, but like I said, I highly doubt we're going to be setting any lap records with that car. I'm pretty sure that car is definitely going to be either a drift car, maybe a drag car, or just a all-around fun car that's not really built to win many races. Now, the bubble top is weird, right? Because it's got that massive engine up front, huge engine up front, but this weird, tiny little body, it kind of reminds me of, it almost reminds me of the Hot Wheels twin mill in some ways, except it doesn't have, two engines. But at the end of the day, it is a very, very interesting car and a very, very cool car. Again, not one that I think will set any records, but definitely one that I think is going to be a favorite of the community and a favorite of the people that are really interested in these cars. Now, there's one car that I have a bit of I wouldn't say I have a bit of an issue with it, but one car that I don't think I'm a massive fan of is the Chevelle. And the reason why I'm not a fan of the Chevelle is not because it's a Chevelle. I actually really like Chevelles. I just think the wheels are way too big. And I think when you look at it from the standpoint of somebody that likes cars from the standpoint of how they drive, you look at a car like that with like wheels or rims, if you're so inclined to call them that. You look at ones that are that big, and you go, wow, that's going to be horrible for handling. I mean, I'm all about, wide wheels and tires, but there's a difference between having a stiff sidewall and having no sidewall. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of one of those things where it's like say, for example, the tire size I run on my actual track car, a 255 40/17 on a 17 by 10. So I have a tiny little bit. It's not really even a stretch, but it just makes the sidewall of the tire, since it's the 255 on a 10-inch wide wheel, it stiffens up the sidewall a little bit and gives you really good response. Now, I'm not saying that you want to go, like, tiny with your sidewall, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't want to go massive either. You don't want to have, like, the sidewall of a mud tire on a track car. And I think when you get down to it, I mean, it really, like, that Chevelle looks like it's dangerously close to lowrider specs when you look at the wheels, and it's like, ooh, I don't know about that. Now, To talk more in depth about the Bronco, I mean, where do I start? I love that thing. I absolutely love it, and I don't know how else to... I don't know how else to say this other than it's really cool that it's coming into Forza Motorsport 7, but I'm also really sad that it's not in Forza Horizon 4 already. You know what I mean? Why can't this pack just be in Horizon 4? It's like, boys, come on. That thing would be perfect for Horizon 4. Hell, it'd be perfect for Fortune Island. It'd be perfect for the mainland. It'd be perfect for everywhere. I would use that thing all the freaking time because we need more lifted vehicles. We need more off-road vehicles, modified off-road vehicles. And I love the fact that they are doing these modified vehicles as DLCs. I think it's a really good thing and a really cool thing to do DLCs for. But at the same time, if you're going to do lifted vehicles, put the lifted off-road vehicles in the game that they can actually be used in. And that is really more along the lines of Forza Horizon 4 rather than Forza Motorsport 7. Now, I'm not saying that they can't be used in Forza Motorsport 7, but more like what I'm saying is there's no real purpose for them, I feel, in Forza Motorsport 7. You're not really dealing with off-road tracks. You're not really dealing with, you know, obstacles that require you to jump over them or a lot of dirt or big hills and stuff like that. So I feel like a vehicle like that almost gets wasted in Forza Motorsport 7. Now, it does have the comedy factor, right? You know, there's the comedy factor of driving a lifted Ford Bronco around the Nürburgring or something like that. But I feel like that comedy factor only goes so far when you're talking about a vehicle like that. And if you have it in a environment where it can actually be used, I feel like you're going to get a lot more mileage out of it. I mean, that's, you know, haha, mileage, quote unquote. It's a vehicle, but whatever. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, I want to use that vehicle in the environment it was designed to be used for, and Horizon 4 gives you access to that environment, whereas Motorsport 7 really doesn't. I mean, there's only a tiny little bit of, like, quote-unquote off-road stuff you can do in Forza Motorsport 7, and even when you do, it's not something you're supposed to do, and you have to kind of work your way to the side of the tracks, and it's very, very weird, and it just doesn't work. That being said, I will do a build of it. I'll probably do some sort of crazy high horsepower build because a lot of people like to watch high horsepower builds. A lot of you guys like to watch high horsepower builds. But at the same time, like, even for me, and I'm sure even for you guys as well, it's kind of frustrating to see a vehicle like that being used in an environment where it doesn't really belong. You know what I mean? Like, I like to use vehicles like that in the environment that they belong in, and Horizon 4 provides that environment, whereas Forza Motorsport 7 does not. But with all of that being said, I am very excited for this car pack to come out and become a reality, and I'm very excited to cover each and every one of these cars for you guys. There will be gameplay, there will be builds, and there will also even possibly be some live stuff. So if you guys are excited about that, then leave me a like. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited about it, and let me know which car you're excited for. I know for me, it's probably a toss-up between the Doubledown, the Bronco, and the Bubble Top, but those are all really, really interesting and cool, weird, quirky cars, and I love when they add quirky cars. Like, weird, quirky stuff always has a place in Forza, in my opinion, and I know that they're not, you know, like, cars that, I feel like they're not really, quote-unquote, like, popular style, you know what I mean? Because, like, nowadays, it's like so many people, you know, just want a new version of, like, the GTR, or, like, and I'm not picking on GTRs, but, like, they want a new version of a 240SX, or a GTR, or a Subaru, or whatever it may be, and they're like, if we don't get that one car, then the game is bad, you know what I mean? And I've heard all sorts of things, you know, you see it on Facebook, you see it on Reddit sometimes, and you see all these things where people will, you know, they'll see a car pack, and, you know, they'll like one car in it, and then they'll go, well, I only liked one car, so therefore that car pack sucks, you know what I mean? And, you know, either that or it won't have the one car that they wanted, and therefore they're like, wow, that car pack is crap, it's terrible, and they end up going after, you know, Forza for it. And I think that's a little bit of, like, the wrong way to look at it, because I look at it as, oh, cool, we're getting more and more and more interesting cars that not only add to the car list, but they also give us a greater variety of cars. And I think that what they really want to try to do with a car pack like this is maybe try to, you know, try to kind of reach a certain side of the car culture that they haven't reached before, or maybe haven't really spent that much time with. So, and that's the thing, is we can only really have so many variants of the S chassis. We can only really have so many variants of, like, you know, the GTR platform. And while I love all those variants, I can see why, from Forza's perspective, I can see why they don't add, like, each and every variant of those. And I'm not picking on those cars. I'm just more using them as an example. You can use the Mustang, the Camaro. You can use, like, every car that has multiple variants that, you know, that different kinds of people like as an example. But at the end of the day, I am extremely excited for this car pack, and I cannot wait for it to come out. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe for more. I will see you guys again soon. Talk to y'all later.